This is the story about how I took my very last final for my very last class in college completely hungover. People always ask, it was a class about the United Nations, because that seems to be an important question here. And it was the third time I'd had this professor, because the political science department at the University of Missouri, I guess, isn't super popular. So the way he did it was he would give you like 15 questions, and you would study all of them, and then four or five of them would be essay questions for the final. So he'd give you all the questions ahead of time, but you needed to study everything because you didn't know what you were going to get. So I was used to this format, and I wasn't too worried about the final, obviously, because my friend Rob called me and he said, "Do you want to go see Everclear tonight?" And it was the 90s, so of course I wanted to see Everclear tonight. So we went to the Blue Note, which was the club in town, and we went to see the show. And I used to work, my freshman and sophomore years, I worked at the Blue Note. I scrubbed toilets and mopped floors there, which is a whole different story. And I said, well, let me see if I know any of the bartenders. Maybe we can get a discount on drinks, because I used to also get a discount on drinks when I worked at the Blue Note. And so I went to the upstairs bar, and I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, hey, Eileen, that's great to see you. He's like, what do you need? And I was like, I'll have 2 Long Islands. And he's like, okay. And so he pours Long Islands in the big pint glasses, and he's like, that'll be $4. And I was like, yes! So I ran downstairs to Rob. I was like, these are $4 for 2 of them. And then the party was on. So I think we watched most of the show upstairs so we could be closer to the upstairs bar. And it was a good show. I remember Art Alexakis kicked somebody out because he was being mean to a girl. I thought that was nice. And we liked the concert, and we drank a lot of Long Islands for $2 a piece. And I went home and went to bed, and my final was like at 10:30 the next morning. But I got up at about 5 because the room wouldn't stop spinning. And I thought, I might as well study. I'll study some. But it turns out when the room's spinning, you can't study either. But I pretended to. I sat on my lazy boy and tried to read the questions, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm studying, totally studying," and just kind of read the questions over and over again and didn't learn anything. But I think then the headache set in. You get the really bad headache, and I went to sleep for a little bit, and then I woke up just in time to go to my final. I didn't miss it, and so I go to the final and I sat in the front row because I was that kind of college student. And the professor, he could tell something was wrong because I would do my essay questions, and I kind of had a little reward system because I felt so terrible. I thought, well, if I can write 3 more sentences, then you can lay your head down on the cool desk. And so I would write a paragraph and then lay my head down for 2 minutes, like this. And you could tell he was like, is anything? And I was like, no, I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So I got through 4 essays that way, a paragraph at a time with several minutes in between. And it wasn't pleasant, but it was my last final. And I think I got a B-. So I think I got a B+ in the class. My mom would point out that if I hadn't been hungover and studied harder, I probably would have gotten an A in the class. But it was my last final. I didn't care. So.